Well, it's time for the Game Awards 2024 and the nominees. We are starting with the last category, which is the best esports team, and then working backwards or forward, however you want to see it, to the Game of the Year nominations. Now, to make this very clear, I haven't seen any of the nominees for any category besides of the one you are now seeing in front of you and have already opened. But this is also my first live reactions to the nominees, and this should be very interesting. And then we will talk about like who will probably win this, and also my personal opinion, which I would love to see winning, but I know most of the time that's not really what is happening. Another thing I want to make absolutely clear here, I don't really give a damn about this. Like, as somebody who has done reviews, still does reviews, has worked in the industry, this is all arbitrary and everyone has their own opinions about this. So, the Game Awards, why do I watch them? It's because of the trailers and the announcements. If they would disappear from the Game Awards at some point, I would not watch that show because that's literally the Jeff Keighley award show, and I couldn't care less, right? But what I have to admit is that the industry has widely accepted the Game Awards as the come together show, and so it still has some meaning to people when they're being chosen. But personally, this does nothing to me in the games I love to play. Just to make that clear. So, with that said, let's get right into it, shall we? First, the best esports team, recognizing a specific esports team, not the full organization, judged the most outstanding for performance and conduct in 2024. Don't care! No, T1. Why? Because I watched League of Legends. It's the only esports I'm really watching. And they have been basically fighting from being the dark horse at best to, well, being the world champion again. I don't know about the others. I really don't. So again, doesn't matter too much to me. All right. Best esports athlete. Again, I couldn't care less. Probably Faker because he has played an insane match again. Like some of those moments at um the worlds was just insane what the dude did. Like he's getting older and you don't really notice that. So probably Faker again. Best esports game. For the game that has delivered the best overall esports experience to players, inclusive of tournaments, community support, and content updates, irrespective of genre or platform. Probably Valorant or League of Legends. Counter-Strike 2 has a pretty tough standing right now with the crowd a bit. So, Dota is just chugging along. So, yes, League of Legends or Valorant, one of the two. But again, don't care. Content Creator of the Year. Well, me, right? I don't know a single person of this. I'd say typical gamer. I think I've heard of the dude. I have no clue who the others are. What is this? No clue. Don't care. Most in wow. Okay, this is a big category. No, actually, GTA 6. Personally, Ghost of Yotei, but GTA 6. Like without question. GTA 6. Like we don't even have to talk about this. We don't really have to talk about this because it, like they are literally developers who are trying to get their games done before GTA 6 is coming out. Like GTA 6 is the cutoff date for the rest of the gaming industry of this year. Depending on when the game is coming out, Everyone else wants to be out before that. Like again, Ghost of Yotei is probably something I would look forward to. If it's not GTA 6, it's probably Monster Hunter Wilds. But keep in mind, this is a community vote, as far as I'm aware. I think this is a community vote. So, yeah, yeah, like let's be realistic here. Nothing else will be voted. Hmm. GTA 6 is winning this without a doubt. Next category, let's see what we got here. Best adaptation. Recognizing outstanding creative work that faithfully and authentically adapts video game and another entertainment medium. Ooh. Ooh. I haven't watched the second season of Arcane yet, but I will soon. No. No. Get that get the hell out of here. As somebody who was looking forward to the TV show and he was actually watching it, I couldn't continue to watch this after episode 3. Or was it 4? Like, I don't know where Knuckles was in that show, but it wasn't in that show. Get the hell out of here. But it will be Arcane or Fallout. One of the two. Fallout was fantastic. I loved it. Like, they completely captured the spirit of the Fallout games and they stayed faithful to the games. Arcane, I mean, the first season was just a hell of a ride. And I'm pretty sure that season 2 is nothing less of that. Yakuza. I heard mixed things about it. Like some people say it's a really good adaptation, and some others say it's completely missing out on all the things which make Yakuza funny, right? So, yeah, we have to see about that. I haven't seen the Tomb Raider show, but I heard it was okay. Like, yeah. Followed or Arcane. Pretty simple. Alrighty. Next. Best multiplayer for outstanding online multiplayer game and design, including co-op, a massive multiplayer experience, irrespective of the game of genre and platform. Helldivers 2. Helldivers 2. Now, this would be tough. Like, Call of Duty is Call of Duty, let's not forget it. Uh, Super Mario, I heard a lot of good things about it. I like the Warhammer multiplayer. Tekken is Tekken. Um, Helldivers 2. Helldivers should win this. Who would win this? Probably God. I think this is another community vote. So I think COD will win this, but Helldivers should. Helldivers should. Like, that game is just a blast. It's just an absolute blast. Best sports and racing, I don't care. Um, Probably football. Sorry. Best sim and strategy. Best game focused on real time and turn based simulator or strategy gameplay, irrespectively of platform. Wusamo. Wusa. I This is still early access. I don't know what this is doing here. We are at the topic again of no early access. Please don't do early access. Don't put that there. Just don't. And it wasn't that great. It's still very early on. Unicorn Overlord looked really great. Couldn't play it because it's a PlayStation exclusive, so that sucks. Kunitsugami was okay. Age of Mythology, it's a remake of Age of Mythology. It's nice. Look, I'm a huge fan of Age of Mythology, but in my honest opinion, Frostpunk. And by the way, that you didn't put other games here, shame on you. We had a lot of great strategy games this year, like really a lot of them. And uh, uh, also, you know what's hilarious to me? Unicorn Overlord is in here. Best sim and strategy. But no Metaphor Re Fantasio? Really? Huh. Debatable. Like, why is this in here but not Metaphor? Or why is this not in the same category as Metaphor? Because it is pretty close to it, right? So, uh, again, we at category Frostpunk will win this, rightfully so. And I'm pretty sure this is what's being picked. Next, Best Family. Ah, the Nintendo category. Um, this is a difficult one. I would say The Legend of Zelda or Astrobot. One of the two. Yeah, one of the two. The Plucky Squire, I saw it and I saw a lot of people throwing their controllers against the wall because it is apparently beautiful to look at, but shitty to play. No. Another Mario Party, yeah, okay. And well, I haven't really seen Prince of Peach, but it looked interesting, that's for sure. But I think it will be Zelda or Astrobot, one of the two. Yep. Best fighting game. Really? The collection? Okay. Didn't we find any more fighting games? Did we run out of fighting games for this year? Is that the problem? Personal opinion, I think Tekken will take it. If this is a bigger community vote, Sparking Zero. Even though I have to say, it's an arena brawler than more than it is like a fighting game, and I wouldn't necessarily put it here into the category, but then where do you put it anyways, right? So it makes sense. But if we are talking about real fighting games, Tekken 8, no question. Tekken 8. So yeah. Yep. Best RPG. I have some thoughts about this. One of them is Shadow of the Earth Tree. Interesting choice. Uh, it's an expansion. Now, it could be a standalone expansion. This is why I kind of let it slide, but eh. Best RPG. Metaphor. I say Metaphor. But only because I'm playing Metaphor right now and it just absolutely rules. Like a Dragon. Yeah, it's a right. It's a right. All of them. Like I don't really care who wins this. I think they are all earned it. I think all of them would be fine in my book. Um but I think Metaphor will take it here. I do. or Shadow of the Earth Tree. Next, Best Action Adventure. Wow. Wow. We didn't have a lot of action adventures here, huh? And apparently no Dragon Age. Oh boy, oh. Damn. To put this game here. Interesting. I hope it gets it. I really hope it gets it. Just so they can rub it into Ubisoft's face after they have disbanded the developer and have given up on it again. I really just hope this is to rub it into Ubisoft's face. So I would love to see Prince of Persia to just take this. But I will be honest, Astrobot. Astrobot would take it. Star Wars Outlaws, too broken. Like, they're still fixing that game, kinda ish. Um, Zelda, maybe. Silent Hill 2. We need a horror category when we have enough horror games. Unfortunately, we never have enough horror games, so I understand why this is in here. But I'm also not a big fan of just graphical remakes. Like, as far as I know, Silent Hill is pretty much just a remake of Silent Hill 2 with new graphics, while, let's say, Final Fantasy 7 is really remade. Like, there is a lot of new stuff in it. The combat has changed, right? Like, the story has changed. Like, comparing Silent Hill 2 to Final Fantasy 7, like, Final Fantasy 7 is like a real remake. It's also why they don't call it remake, but rebirth at this point, because it's so vastly different to its predecessor. The Silent Hill 2 is apparently not, as far as I know. I haven't played it, so can't compare it. But yeah, Astrobot will take this home. Yep. The best action game. Ooh-wee. This is a tough one. I hope Helldivers 2. I would bet on Space Marine 2. But I think it will be Black Myth Wukong. Not because I think Black Myth Wukong is particularly good. It's a decent game. Right, it's a good game. But if this is a community vote, um, like like the game itself, it would get prepped up by Chinese players, and that's just the amount of people just voting on it. Um, but again, Helldivers 2 or Space Marines, I would love to see, but I have the feeling it will be Wukong. I have the feeling it will be Wukong. So, yeah. Best AR VR. Wow. I don't know. Best mobile game. Beladro or Zenless Zone Zero. One of the two. Even though I heard that AFK Journey became really big. Again, don't care. Oh, look, gambling for kids. Nice. Nice. I think AFK Journey could actually take this as a surprise. But don't care. Best debut indie game. Early access, don't do this to me. Baladro or Anime Well. Baladro or Animal Well. One of the two. What's next? Best independent. Well, okay. Weird. Baladro. It is so funny. For outstanding creative and technical achievement in a game made outside the traditional publisher system. Animalwell, publisher Big Mode. Baladro, publisher Playstack. Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, publisher Annapurna Interactive. Neva, publisher Devolver. The only thing basically which would fit in here is UFO 50. Like, they all have a freaking publisher, man. Uh, and especially Devolver at this point. Like, man, the term indie or independent game. I say Baladro. Best community support. Baldur's Gate 3. Yep, Baldur's Gate 3. They just added mod support. And I read, like, this is the crazy part. I read an article yesterday that Baldur's Gate 3 has more players than it had last year now. Yep. They have around 3% more concurrent players than they had last year when the game came out. And they have in total 20% more players over the year. And it's just what? And they added mod support. Right. Like apparently the mod support is insane in this game. I mean, they are this close, like this close to give the people the source code for Baldur's Gate 3. That's apparently how close the mod support is. Like they are one step away from just having the source code for BG3. So the possibilities for Baldur's Gate 3 and mods is endless. So yeah. Crazy. As don't get me wrong, as much as I love all the other games, especially I think Helldivers had an amazing community support and does some cool things, and they really turned it around. But they had a few months of just saving the game. Well, Baldur's Gate just had a up and up and up and up. Yeah, yeah, like BG3, no question. And if not, No Man's Sky. Best ongoing. Do we want to do the every year's the same thing thingy? Like if we are going after the every year is the same, then it's Final Fantasy 14. Right. So far, every year, Final Fantasy 14 took it. Which is yeah. I would love to see Helldivers because they really do a lot with the game. But I guess it's Final Fantasy 14 and maybe Fortnite. One of the two. Sorry, I don't see Diablo. I don't see Destiny 2. Like one of the two. This is what I want. This is what I get. Games for Impact. I completely forgot that Hellblade 2 came out this year. Wow. I have completely forgotten about this game. Huh. This is not even finished, isn't it? Are we are we not missing some episodes? Mm, yeah. That's a sad story about this game. I mean, this is the biggest impact because the developer basically ceased to function, more or less. Um, I think it will be Neva. I haven't played it yet because, look, I'm just not mentally there to do this to me. Like, as somebody who has played Greece, um, I think I'm not ready for Neva yet. I'm I have to find a week where I can take a gut punch after a gut punch for like a whole week playing through this. And I haven't found that week yet. I haven't found that week yet. But it's still my I have to get the gut punches at some point. I would say it's neither. Um I wouldn't be surprised if Hellblade is winning this. Um because this is what people know. Uh the whole 2 weeks early access, go fluff yourself, Square Enix. I don't know who that is. That looked weird. Yeah. So eh. Senua or Neva, one of the two. Innovation and accessibility. No. Like, don't make me wrong. Diablo 4 is good, but DA is doing a pretty good job. And I said it before, I hate to admit it, but one of the two Ubisoft games, Ubisoft is really, really good when it comes to accessibility. Like, I would say they're the kings right now when it comes to accessibility. Like, it's crazy to me how different this is in comparison to the rest of Ubisoft games, right? If all the Ubisoft games would have the same level of quality than they have with accessibility in their games, man, just amazing. I don't know who will win this, but I assume one of the two Ubisoft games will. Yep. Best perform. Oh, damn! Lots of ladies. Um, oof. I have no clue. I say Melina Jurgens, because I really like her. I like her performance. I like what she is doing with Senua. So I I haven't really seen the others too much. I haven't played Silent Hill 2 yet, but I go with her. You know what would be nice? To see the characters they're actually speaking. Like Luke Roberts in Silent Hill 2. I assume he is the protagonist in Silent Hill 2, but that is my assessment. Brianna White. Who, uh, who is she? Sephiroth? Like, do you know how many like female characters we have in Final Fantasy VII? Okay, it's three. It's three. But still, that's three more. It's like, what? Yeah, I don't. Would be nice to see the names, but I go with Melina Jürgens. Mhm. All right, next category: best audio design. Senua, I'm sorry, it's like it's still the best, hands down. Like what they are doing with the directional audio and all that. Like, keep in mind, this is not music. This is not music. This is sound design. And yeah, Hellblade 2 is still amazing. So, hands down, should win this. Best score music. I mean, I mean, metaphor. I'm sorry. Like, it's literally metaphor. Metaphor is just too good. They have so many amazing music in their game. Again, this is just a standard battle theme. So, yeah, they should take this. Yep, for sure. Anyone else? Final Fantasy, if not. Final Fantasy, if not. So, yeah. All right. Next one. Best art direction. For outstanding creative and or technical achievement in artistic design and animation. Oh. I don't want to put Elden Ring in there again, man. Like, Black Myth had some really good animations, I give them that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we are seeing Black Myth taking this. Elden Ring is definitely up there, and if not, Metaphor. Neva also looks fantastic. This is a tough category. This is actually a tough category. But in my opinion, Metaphor should take it. But I believe it will be between Wukong and Shadow of the Earth Tree. Yeah. Yeah. One of the two. Next, best narrative. I it's the same narrative than in Silent Hill 2. I haven't played it, can't say. Yeah, I could see Final Fantasy VII Rebirth taking it here. I'm not deep enough in Metaphor right now to say if the narrative development is good. Like, the writing has been good so far, and the whole thing has been really interesting in what they're doing and how they are turning a few tables already. Just a few hours in, they have already turned the tables on certain areas. So I love that. I love me some turntables. I love me some turntables. Nah. I have to say, like, one of the weakest parts, unfortunately, this time was Hellblade. Yeah, it was pretty weak. I didn't like it much. Was kind of disappointed by it. So Final Fantasy VII will probably take it. I would love to see Metaphor, depending on how it goes. Look, I love Yakuza, or Like a Dragon as they're calling it now. I love that series. Don't get me wrong. They have some great writing, but they also have some goofy moments and some, like, yeah, okay moments. And Silent Hill 2 is the same thing they had from Silent Hill 2, the original. Like, again, Silent Hill 2 is just a remake of 2. Updated graphics, everything else is the same. By the way, no spoilers, as believe it or not, I have completely dodged all, like, the story aspects of this game. But Yeah, I think Final Fantasy VII will take it. Next, best game direction. Awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. Uh, Baladro or Astro. I could see Astro also taking it. Yeah. Um, Baladro. If we are really going with game direction and design, Baladro. If we are talking about interface and UI, holy moly, it's metaphor. I will show that after the nomination for a second. But that game is just I I don't even know where to begin. Um yeah, Astrobot could also win this. All right. I think this is the last one. Game of Wait. Oh, come on, man. You just copied the category. Also, no, you cannot be serious. This is your game of the year. Didn't we had any games anymore? Really? Apparently we didn't had games anymore. I okay. Let's talk about this. We are going from the left to the right, bit by bit. Okay? Left to the right. Astrobot. Beloved, great animations, great graphics. It's fun. People enjoyed it. But people also said it's a bit of punch in the face of all the great games PlayStation is showing off and be like, look, these are our IPs we are owning and we haven't done anything about for 20 years. Sucks to be you. Like, I get that Astrobot is kinda here, but also I don't. Like, it's a fun action adventure. It's a feel good game for a day or two. And does it deserve a nomination? Yes. Does it have a realistic chance of winning? No. But it is a feel good game. And for a lot of people, a feel good game was what they needed in 2024. So, yes. Beladro. Beladro, on the other hand, I haven't touched yet because I got literally warned that this is crack. This is literally crack in game form. And I stayed away from it because of it. And like, I literally had people coming to me and saying, "Oh, you like Vampire Survivors, right?" Yeah. Have you heard of Baladro? Yeah. Don't play it. Oh, why? Is it that bad? No, because we will never see you again. Do not touch Baladro. Like, I kid you not, one of the reasons I stayed away from Baladro is because I got warned. It is literally drugs injected into your vein. Like, I will probably play it before the Game Awards just to get a feeling for it, just to see how much it is really crack. But I heard some, yeah, yeah, it's bad. Like, from what I've heard, people were just like, I don't know where to begin. I don't know where to start, where to end, and at this point, it's game of the year. I heard a lot of people saying this about this game. Believe it or not, the term game of the year was thrown around by a lot of people. Now, will a small indie game win game of the year? No, of course not. But it deserves the nomination. It absolutely deserves it. Speaking about a game which doesn't deserve the nomination at all, and that is Black Myth Wukong. Ignoring all the things surrounding this game, it's okay. It's a good action adventure game. As somebody who has played it, as somebody who has watched it, I can say it's a good action adventure game. But beyond that, nothing else. It's basically a celebration of the first triple A game coming from China. And now I know what people will say. Well, have you seen how many people have played it? It was the biggest game this year on Steam. It sold the most numbers this year. It has to be game of the year. If we are going just with numbers sold, then we don't have to do this anymore. Because keep in mind that about, what was it, 70% or more of the people who actually bought this game were from China. So if we would go after this number, then just because of the sheer amount of people living in China, China could basically determine the game of the year every year. That's not how this works, and it shouldn't work that way. But gameplay wise, it's an action adventure game with some Souls like elements. And don't get me wrong, it's not a bad game. It really isn't. But it isn't a good game. Like, it doesn't do anything outstanding. And does it deserve a nomination? Debatable. But I would say yes. Win Game of the Year? No. No. Not at all. Elden Ring Shadow of the Earth Tree. Oh, okay. This is the only game I knew was on here, but not because I saw the category, but because they actually put out a warning a few days ago that they are now allowing remakes and expansions for the Game of the Year category. And I was like, expansions? What was the only expansion we got this year which would be like in that category? Oh, yeah, of course, Elden Ring. And don't get me wrong, I have played the expansion. I think the expansion is amazing. Till the last boss. Whoever designed that last boss. You should never get another job in this industry, just saying. You're a monster and you hate people. And I don't know what happened to you as a child. What? What? I, I don't. Look. As somebody who has played From Software games for many years, I mean, I've played From Software since Armored Core 1 on PlayStation 1. And I have seen a lot of From Software shenanigans over the decades, but this boss is just taking the crown of absolute tomfoolery. I hate it so much. I was this close of not finishing the game. I did, but just no. Just no. Should it be on here? It's an expansion. It's not a DLC. They could have sold this as a standalone expansion or even as a standalone game, and it would have been okay. Like, seriously. That's how big it is. That's how much content there is, how much they like did with this. It's absolutely deserving to be nominated here. But Game of the Year, it's more Elden Ring. If that is personally game of the year for you, sure. But I do believe that Elden Ring had their rightfully game of the year nomination and also won game of the year 2 years ago. Rightfully so. The expansion, give some other games the chance to shine on here. Like, come on, didn't you find another game of the year? Couldn't you find any? Was it really that hard? Final Fantasy VII Rebirth makes sense. I wouldn't be too surprised if they're taking it, but I will be honest. I think not enough people have played it because it's a PlayStation 5 exclusive. And why is this different from the other games? Because Final Fantasy Rebirth is a different game. If you were playing through Final Fantasy VII and you were playing through this game, it's completely different. Even the story has changed drastically, and like it's very different. It's very different. So yes, in my opinion, this has the right to be on here. Will it win? Tough, tough. Yeah. Metaphor, Refantasio, absolutely deserves to be on there. Absolutely. With what they're doing with the art direction and the cutscenes, the English voice acting is so good. I started out with the Japanese one, then I realized, let's try the English one. The English one is so good. It is so good. The writing is just fantastic. The combat feels so good. Like, I cannot get enough of this game. It's really good. Like, it absolutely deserves to be on here. Will it win? I wished. But I'm not sure. I don't think so. It's, if I want to be brutally honest, it's Persona in a different cloak. And that's not bad. Yes, it is different, but the baseline is Persona. Is that enough to win Game of the Year? Again, personally, I would love to. But knowing this industry, I I would love this to win. This one even more. This is what we get. This is what we will get. We will get Black Myth Wukong or Elden Ring Shadow of the Earth Tree. One of the two. Because this industry, man. This industry. And the votes. So, yeah. Yeah. And the Helldivers, I would be honest, they could have thrown out one of those two and put Helldivers 2 in here. They could have done that, and I would have been okay with it. They could have done that. But I saw some people saying they wanted to see Silent Hill 2 on this list, which that was the other thing I knew, that Silent Hill 2 is not on here, and I'm like, no, I'm sorry. Not, no, no. Like, again, it's a 20-year-old game with just new graphics. let's like this is the difference between Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That's the difference. Like this is basically Final Fantasy VII alternative universe. Silent Hill 2 is just Silent Hill 2. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on the Game Awards and the Game of the Year. Thank you, everyone, for watching. If you enjoyed it, I know everyone has their own opinions, and that is completely fine. Like as I said, I don't really care too much about the Game Awards itself. I am there for the new announcements, for the new trailers, and celebrating some of the studios who did a fantastic job. But this whole thing, who actually wins and who doesn't, it is so arbitrary. And I've learned for myself to not care about it. But nonetheless, it's always fun to do. So with that said, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like. Also, if you're new to the channel, you enjoyed this and you want to see more in the future, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. With that said, I'll see you next time. Stay safe.